Tonight on KGW News, joining the battle for his home country.
Ukrainians are very brave people.
A Vancouver man says goodbye to his family before heading to Ukraine. Plus,
I'm frustrated by the inaction from not just the city, but from as the community as a whole.
A call to action for all of Portland to help curb the gun violence.
and gas prices shatter records again. Why some experts say these sky-high numbers could keep creeping up. Your news starts now.
And good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. We begin tonight with the attack Ukraine is calling a war crime. The airstrike devastated a maternity hospital in the city of Mariupol, a city that's surrounded by Russian forces. At least 17 people were wounded, including children and pregnant women. The World Health Organization says it has confirmed at least 18 attacks on health facilities and ambulances in Ukraine since the fighting began.
And this while families, including seniors and children, have been trying to escape shelling on the outskirts of the capital. One troubling story, a family in a Kyiv hospital who say Russians bombed their home. And as they were trying to drive away, soldiers followed up by spraying their car with bullets. A 16-year-old and her mother were left injured.
I remember that we were driving, and the first thing I saw was my knee that was shot through to the bone. And after that, I think I fainted.
No teen, no child should have to go through this. And Ukraine is again sounding the alarm after Russian forces cut the power to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site, disrupting systems inside the giant confinement structure that is known as the sarcophagus, though U.S. officials say there is no immediate risk, fortunately, of a radiation leak.
As far as the U.S. response tonight, the House has overwhelmingly approved legislation to ban Russian energy imports. Now, this bill goes even further than a ban on Russian oil President Biden announced earlier this week. It also encourages a review of Russia's trade status in the World Trade Organization.
And while families are fleeing the violence on what's now Thursday morning in Ukraine, a Vancouver man is choosing instead to head into the war zone. Galen Etlin has the story of one Ukrainian American making national headlines as he heads to the front lines to help.
Sergei Koronev spent his final moments in the U.S. watching his daughter practice skateboarding. Journalist Sergio Olmos captured the moments before this Vancouver father flew off to join the Ukrainian army in the fight against Russia.
Ukrainians are very brave people. It's true.
Valentina Korneva and Sergei are divorced, but still close, sharing daughters and a bond.
Really good man.
This video shows Sergei packing alongside family ahead of his flight last Thursday. He is one of about 66,000 Ukrainians returning home to fight.
Why was it important for him to go to war in Ukraine?
He knows people who stay in Ukraine. His mother stay in Kyiv, and many friends stay in Kyiv who need our help.
Sergei hopes to get those loved ones to safety, but also continue a family legacy. Since 2014, he and Valentina have helped support Ukrainian families of lost soldiers with housing. Valentina is an interior designer.
Build apartments or house for families.
And as Sergei walks through the PDX airport, Ukrainian flag waving from his bag, he is bringing thousands of dollars in U.S. donations to help his home country. At the security gate.
How is everyone feeling having said goodbye?
My daughters cried. Yes, of course.
Tears for their father as he gives them a long hug. A kiss and salute from family, watching a loved one get on a plane toward an uncertain future. But knowing this.
We want safe Ukraine.
Galen Etlin, KGW News.
And we will hold Sergei in our thoughts. Meanwhile, the ripple effects of this conflict are being felt here at home. And one impact, you've seen it, you felt it, soaring gas prices. The cost of fuel set new records nationwide and here in Oregon and Washington. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of regular is now $4.25. Oregon's average, a record high $4.66. It's $4.50 in Washington. Experts believe the price will keep climbing. Today, drivers are feeling it, and AAA says there's no telling how long this will last.
Yes, I have noticed the price of gas is getting outrageous.
Getting outrageous?
Yes, outrageous. I've never seen it this high before.
Usually when we see price spikes like this, They can be the result of something like a hurricane. It's relatively easy to make educated guesses about when things might come back online. In this case, we're talking about a war in Europe, and there are just no answers.
One industry feeling the pain already, delivery and rideshare drivers. Bloomberg News reporting the rising cost of gas is poised to eat up as much as 60% of drivers' take-home pay. Both Uber and Lyft hesitating to raise rates on riders. If you're looking for the cheapest gas, apps like Gas Buddy and Gas Guru can help you find it. But people we talked to today put it in perspective, saying with what's happening in Ukraine, it's hard to complain about our expensive gas.
I'm asking you to listen now. Stop talking about gun violence and let's come up with a real solution, a real answer that includes all of us.
A call for change in Portland's Dawson Park, with advocates demanding less talk and more action after two recent shootings, one of those fatal. Our Alma McCarty joins us in the newsroom here. And Alma, you were there as many leaders shared their deep frustration and their fears.
Well, David, the location has a long history of being a gathering place for many in the Black community. But those who spoke this afternoon said recently Dawson Park has become a place of great sorrow and pain.
To all the shooters out there, put down your guns.
A plea to end the violence in a place that's seen so much. This memorial set up on Northeast Stanton Street for 55-year-old Mark Johnson, gunned down on the edge of Dawson Park just last week.
I'm gonna give y'all just a piece of my mind. I'm frustrated by the inaction.
Frustration because 1 year ago to the date, this same spot was blocked off with crime tape filled with patrol cars as police responded to the shooting death of another Black man, 42-year-old Titus McNack.
This is about you caring enough about Black lives that you're willing to put your money where your mouth is and invest in the people that know how to do the work instead of just talking about it.
Community advocates expressing anger, calling out the city they say for not doing enough, and calling for a long-term plan.
From not just the city, but from as the community as a whole. And so to get in front of this, to be able to slow this down, we have to work in tandem.
One thing they agreed upon, those most impacted by the violence must also get a seat at the table.
The problem with the city of Portland is they want to make the table small and exclusive.
And so tonight they're calling for room at that table for more diverse perspectives, including those directly impacted by violence. City Commissioner Mingus Mapps, by the way, responding, telling KGW he's willing to discuss new approaches.
You can certainly understand their frustration and the pain. Thank you, Alma. Take a look at this ransacked art gallery. This space near Southwest 10th and Oak in downtown Portland was set to showcase the work of several artists. But last week, 3 people were spotted sleeping in the building, and the next day, organizers found the mess. Lights were smashed, walls spray painted, and most of the artwork was damaged.
I'm really devastated and saddened by it. It's, as an artist over 20 years, I've never, ever had this experience in any other gallery space, nationally or internationally, and none of my artist friends have ever had anything like this happen before.
And all of this happened to an exhibit titled Take Care, with works of art centered around protection and reciprocity. Police say they did end up arresting someone who was sleeping in the gallery, but the damage was done.